Okay. Joey,
Yeah.
you got a thing there.
I found it.
Oh, looks pretty heavy.
I'm barely...
Oh my goodness. That looks expensive, not light, and dangerous.
I went out of town and
Okay.
got this.
Where'd you have to go?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
Pretty far.
Are you gonna be able to stand back up after that's been sitting on your legs?
Well, Mjolnir's... In the MCU, Mjolnir is not technically heavy. You just have to be worthy for it.
It looks pretty heavy to you.
It just, I'm not exactly the most worthy for it.
Yeah, you're giving off strong Captain America Avengers 2 energy.
That was terrible.
That was the worst one we've ever done.
Hey guys, welcome back to 2000 something, the worst movie review channel on the internet.
It's terrible.
So that was an intro.
Do you want to explain to the viewers what you had there?
What I had there?
Yeah.
Oh, so for those who do not know, this is the popcorn bucket that was available at AMC for when you saw this movie. Boom.
Ooh.
Thor,
Nice.
Love and Thunder. This was the popcorn bucket that was teased. There was also a teaser about it being able to come out of the rock, but unfortunately it is not able to come out of the rock.
That's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So you got the one for Doctor Strange too. Do you have a collection of these?
Only the cool ones. If it's just gonna be like a popcorn bucket with like the pictures of the movie on it, I'm like, nah, that's not really as cool. But it's like when it's like this, or
Ooh, the Doctor Strange one. It's coming back.
like this one. This one was pretty cool. I thought because like you can fold it.
That one is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's a multiverse of popcorn buckets.
Before we jump right into the video, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Nice.
And hit that notification bell to stay posted with any new videos that we have done. We put out a video for Invincible not that long ago. It didn't get enough attention. Will did a special new thumbnail for it. It was super awesome. So if you haven't seen that video, go check that out for sure. So without further ado, guys, let's just jump right into it.
What's up?
It's 2000 and something.
This video is actually really terrible.
All right, well, would you say that you enjoyed this movie or...
Okay, I think this is my second favorite of Phase 4, not including TV shows. Obviously, Spider-Man's my favorite. Spider-Man has really only been the only movie in Phase 4 that I feel measures up with Phase 3. This was good and had a lot of good parts, but it felt less than. It was less than Ragnarok. I don't know.
Well, I think the main thing here is that since Spider-Man kind of set the bar way too high because they gave the viewers way too much of what they wanted. Now with like obviously Doctor Strange, we wanted more from Doctor Strange just because the movie that came out before it was Spider-Man, and we got almost everything we wanted in Spider-Man.
What'd you think about Love and Thunder though?
I did enjoy Love and Thunder. It had a really good soundtrack to it. For one of my favorite MCU movies is obviously Thor Ragnarok. And so, but the first two Thor movies, I think they weren't as good as they could have been because they were too serious, I think.
I am a Dark World defender. I don't think it's as bad as anybody says.
I'm not saying it's like
Right.
the worst one, but I think it could have been better if it wasn't as serious as it's compared to its like the two newest ones of the Thor series.
I don't know that I like Love and Thunder more than the other two. Definitely Ragnarok. Ragnarok's way up here in the Thor quadrilogy. I don't know where it goes beyond that. I don't know where this places.
Honestly, I would rank it higher than the like first two Thor movies. Maybe just because like it kind of shows Thor more mature and kind of more fitting into his place. I think the outfits were for sure better in these ones.
He's got the Viking garb in this.
Yeah, the whole premise behind it, like they're giving more information behind like all the other different gods that are in the MCU, and which I thought was pretty cool.
Thor in this one played beautifully by Chris Hemsworth. is so huge. I've never seen another man besides The Rock look this jacked. I watched Avengers 1 yesterday. He's a scrawny little twig boy in that movie compared to this movie. It's so weird to watch Avengers 1, and he's supposed to be the big Viking man. And you just see him in this movie, he's like...
Even bigger Viking man. I bigger now, so therefore I'm more man than I was. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite scenes was when he planted Stormbreaker, and then like they're like, "Hey Thor, we need your help." It's like, okay, and he pulls it out of the ground, and then he rides it like a witch's broom. And I'm like, dude,
right?
Like, that's the kind of comedy we need in the MCU.
It's got twigs from where it's growing into the ground.
Those are roots, buddy.
But it's not the only Thor we have in this movie.
Oh, no.
We've got Jane Foster, played by Natalie Portman herself. I think she's a lot better in this movie than a lot of people were thinking she was going to be. Mm-hmm. They did a really interesting thing with her character, which is slowly kill her over the entire movie.
Well, that's how it is in the comics, too.
Is it?
Yeah, because she does, like in the comics, she does have cancer, and every time that she transforms into Thor with Mjolnir, she essentially, all the chemo and like all the stuff that she, like all the treatment she's taken, basically gets deleted out of her system, and then when she goes back to her mortal form, just it amplifies the cancer and it starts killing her more.
She looks harrowing at some times when she turns back into like her normal self from being Mighty Thor. She looks rough. I thought that was...
Well, I think that's important too, because she does have cancer. So they did. Right. The attention to detail was important. It didn't look like she was like, oh yeah, she looks fine.
Yeah, she's not like, oh, I'm dying of cancer. She's on the ground and like almost gray.
What'd you think of the villain in this one?
Ooh,
by the
Gore, the God Butcher,
played by the man, the myth, the legend,
Batman himself.
Batman.
They needed more of him. I love a good villain who's just a lunatic. And he definitely is. When he's bouncing off the walls, giggling about nonsense, he's really good, but he's not in the movie enough. I can
kind of see. I get what you mean. I think, well, that and just he didn't really seem like he was crazy, but it didn't seem like, oh man, this is a really twisted evil dude. It's, you know, the gods forsaken him, and like his daughter died because of them. So he was like, it was more revenge driven, and it was like, yeah, he was a father, and his like the one thing that he loved the most died.
Maybe they needed more scenes of him killing gods or something. I kind of just felt like we get an intro scene with him, and then it's Thor, 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 and then we see like, awesome, here's some like wreckage that they see. Thor, 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 Thor. Here he is. We're fighting him on a tiny planet. And then he's dead. I feel like I could go into this movie and chop out a whole bunch of stuff that I don't think should be there. And if we just replace that with actual, like, setting up the bad guy stuff, I feel like that'd be great.
Yeah, but I don't think that it doesn't make... You could make the movie better, but I don't think the movie's terrible by any means.
No, it's definitely not terrible.
I mean, the soundtrack alone, man, was amazing. Sweet Child of Mine was a solid song.
Yeah.
And it kind of gives us a setup of what the movie's about. That's what they did with Ragnarok, playing Immigrant Song.
Immigrant Song. I love that song in that movie.
Immigrant Song was a solid choice, and Sweet Child of Mine, I think I like a lot when they do it, like, incorporate like a lot of like good like rock songs.
Right.
And so this song kind of set up of what it was going to be about, so that people were thinking, oh yeah, Thor's going to die and pass on the hammer to you know, what's her face,
Jane Foster,
yeah. And
they really don't do that. That is not the route they went for. No, that is not.
They're like, well, because Chris Hemsworth also said, like, I'll keep playing Thor until the day I die. Like, he said that in an interview, and I think that, like, I'm glad that he's one of the like few like OG like MCU characters that might be around the longest.
I'm so glad we don't have just a complete wipe after Endgame. I don't know. At the moment, I'm not feeling the MCU.
I think it's because since we had like this big build up to Endgame, and then like after that, we were like, man, 8 years of this and all this build up to like all this events, and this happened, and it's like, it's over.
Right.
And then they're like, oh, wait, there's more. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Right.
Because now we don't know who the next big bad is. People are like, oh, it's going to be the Celestials. Oh, it's going to be Kane the Conqueror. Oh, it's going to be Dormammu. It's going to be blah, 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 blah. Like, we don't know who it is because, like, we knew, like, oh, yeah, it's Thanos. We know it's Thanos because, like, there's scenes in Thanos. Like, all right, next Avengers movie's going to be Thanos. It wasn't. It was Ultron.
Did you see the Celestials hanging out at the God Palace?
I didn't.
Yeah, they're almost like all the gods are in the palace and there's two Celestials, like, peeking through the window. And it's kind of interesting that, like, they're setting it up as, like, even the Celestials can't get inside.
They're like, oh man, you killed Zeus. He didn't kill Zeus. I'm like, dude, he just took a lightning bolt to the chest.
Right.
No, thunderbolt. It was his thunderbolt through the chest.
Russell Crowe as Zeus is incredible. I didn't realize he was going to be doing that accent. Great accent work.
It was good. It was amazing. He did a phenomenal job as that. And then, like, just that whole, like, I was expecting, like, us to see Hercules in the movie.
Right.
No. He was in the end credits, and I was a little mad about that.
I feel like every single person got spoiled that Hercules is in this movie. And so I kept waiting for Hercules 2, and I was just like, is he not?
Is he not at this meeting?
Where
Is
we?
he running late? Is he just going to come in and, like, oh, Thor, I'll help you?
Right. And then we get to the credits, and I'm like, okay. That's kind of lame. Because I was like, the entire movie I'd been like, where's Hercules at? He's coming.
Yeah, I know. And that was, like, driving me crazy. I'm like, are you serious? They're not going to get, like, another guy, like, a new character's help?
Yeah.
But we kind of just got, like, people we've seen before.
Right.
Oh, and we found out that Meek is actually a woman.
Did they not say that before? I thought
no, because I rewatched. I was like checking. So Korg, his name's Korg, right?
Korg is
Okay, I keep saying his name wrong. I keep saying Krog. Korg says like this is Meek. He's a bug. He's a bug person. They said he. Did
he? Okay.
Not like, and then like, oh, Valkyrie just like she. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
another thing that bothered me is that Ragnarok, Korg, he says, I was trying to start a revolution, but my mom and her boyfriend only came. So there's only two things that can explain this. One, they got the whole continuity and backstory of him wrong, or he's adopted. One of the two.
I'm going to go ahead and say, Taika Waititi, what are you doing?
Because apparently his species, all there is are men.
Yeah.
There's only men, which is fine. It's fine. But be consistent. Oh my gosh. Just like, because like I heard him say that. I'm like, wait a minute. Didn't he say something about his mom, like in the last movie he was in? And then I'm like, I gotta look this up, and I made sure to look up. I looked up the scene, rewatched the scene. I'm like, oh yeah, he specifically says mom.
Interesting.
I'm like, dude,
yeah, that's,
like come on, because if he was adopted, that's fine, fine, but they don't say that. They don't say that, and it drives me nuts.
This is the new Spider-Man Homecoming 8 years later thing. Joey, quick, we're intermitting with a segment.
Will reads Joey a bad review, and then Joey reacts to that bad review with words that he thinks of while listening to the bad review.
Or this acronym.
Beautiful. 2 stars out of 10. Very disappointing by Tobak Gianni. I left the cinema halfway through. Seems like a Thor parody. Reminded me of the 300 Spartans parody. Does not give you the vibe of a Supio-y movie. The worst misspelling I've ever seen. Childish script to say the least. Way too focused on comedy, bad jokes. Scenes moving too fast from one to the other. And the list can continue. Anyway, very disappointed.
First of all, how can you properly review a movie if you left halfway through the movie? I would probably say this for the channel too. We won't do a movie if we stop the movie halfway through and like, no, this movie sucks. I don't want to review this. This is going to be boring to watch.
Right.
So if you're going to write a review and like have an honest review, watch the whole freaking movie.
Right.
1. 2, I think it was well paced. I think they needed more to the movie. It's just they had to fit it within a certain time slot. And there were things that they did include that weren't necessary, but I don't think it was moving too fast. I think it was actually well paced for what it gave us.
See, he only watched the first half. I thought the first 30 minutes were a tad jumbled.
Yeah,
fast.
I could agree to that.
Yeah.
That it seemed like they were throwing a lot at us. I think it's just because they had the Guardians of the Galaxy and there might have been some contracting issues with the different actors or like scheduling issues to why they had to kind of rush through it. But I think it was like the whole thing with like telling it like it's a story. I think that was like, I enjoyed that part of it, and I think that was a really good plot device for them to do. So overall, my big thing, if you're gonna write a review, don't start your review with "I left halfway through," because immediately your whole review is discredited because you did not watch the entirety of a film to give it a proper review. So I think that statement right there kind of debunks your whole thought process behind it. Now, the movie could have been better. Yes. End of segment.
So let's hit some of the kind of ending stuff. What did you think about the battle on the tiny planet?
Bro, hold on. So before we actually talk about that, I do want to talk about the whole like relationship, the whole like love triangle going on with Stormbreaker and Mjolnir with Thor.
When he just slowly float across the room.
And then like Stormbreaker's kind of holding a grudge against him because he's like trying to get Mjolnir's attention a bit more. It's like a jealous girlfriend. I'm like, man, who knew these?
They were never the sentient, right?
I didn't realize that they were. I didn't know they were as sentient as they are.
Right.
Like apparently they're a lot more sentient than we know.
Yeah.
So apparently these tools have personality, and apparently Mjolnir's drinking beer before too.
Are we gonna watch a movie where it's gonna be Mjolnir and Stormbreaker going on a grand adventure together?
That would be funny. Anyway.
So
I think it was a solid fight. I think I did it. I thought it was pretty funny with the whole kid fight. I know you're not a fan of kids, so
listen, I'm not. It's not even that I'm not a big fan of kids. All right, so I found this very similar to the ending of Shazam.
Oh,
yeah. And I think the ending of Shazam is genuinely awesome. I love the ending of Shazam. This, for some reason, I find all the kids annoying. It doesn't look good. The entire battle is in one of the most "we've walked into a room to do a boss battle" rooms I've ever seen in my life.
Well, here's another thing. Could Thor just enchant things like this entire time? Like,
yeah.
Whoever wields this weapon shall have the power of Thor. Could he have, like, how long has he been able to do that?
Right.
Like, apparently he can do that now.
And he can accidentally do it, too.
Yeah, apparently, because that's why Mjolnir is working for Jane.
Right.
So, like, and, like, I like how he opens his eye temporarily, because, like...
Which I'm really glad they gave a reason for Jane to have the Thor other than she's just worthy, because you can't have too many people who are just worthy. Even if we know people could, like Captain America could have before, but you don't want Captain America picking up the hammer just every battle they go to.
Yeah, I think
right?
it was a good thing to include in just Endgame specifically.
Right.
Because like it was a dire thing.
Right.
But he could have lifted it this whole time, but
right.
he just he chose not to.
Yep. What did you like about the fight? I said what I didn't like about it.
Specifically, I thought it was funny.
You thought it was funny?
Because it's just these kids going ham with like Thor's powers, and like my favorite scene was with the little girl with the bunny just spinning around.
Yeah,
I thought that was it was funny. I didn't wasn't expecting it either. That's what I thought. Like why I enjoyed it a bit more is because it was like I did not know Thor could enchant things. I didn't know that that this would happen, and he just like, oh yeah, here's some powers, kids, go ham, and so they did, and that was pretty cool.
I kind of felt that Gore in the rest of the movie, he is like wiping through people, right? Just shredding people, untouchable, teleporting this way, stabbing people in the back here. They beat him in like 6 seconds at the end of this movie.
Yeah, which was
it's like they didn't even need the lightning bolt, really.
No, not really, because they didn't. I don't think they really used it on it.
No, just try a little bit harder. Yeah.
Yeah, like with friendship we can do anything. You
right.
didn't need the freaking thunderbolt.
The eternity was pretty sick to see in this movie.
Yeah, that was trippy, honestly.
Yeah.
So one thing I was confused about. So he wished his daughter back.
Right.
But then like at the end, his daughter had powers.
Right.
Is that because she was resurrected by the eternity?
Was she not just getting powers from Stormbreaker?
No, because she had abilities that Thor didn't have.
What was she doing? I missed that.
Because I can't remember what she said, but like when Thor's making pancakes, and she says something, and like I think she shoots something out of her eyes.
Oh, interesting.
And she can use Mjolnir apparently.
Well, I don't think she can use Mjolnir. She had Stormbreaker because Stormbreaker doesn't have a enchantment on it.
Okay, so. Well, hold on. That's another thing. They could have fixed this whole situation if Thor just enchanted Stormbreaker like Mjolnir.
Yeah.
Like, only the worthy can pick this up.
Right.
And, like, then, Gore couldn't have picked it up.
Right.
I don't know. I guess, yeah. So she couldn't use... That's why Thor was running out. Okay, that explains a lot now. And another fun fact, that was actually Chris Hemsworth's daughter.
Is it really?
That's
I
his daughter.
did not know that. That's awesome.
He was able to get his daughter to play the part of basically his adopted daughter.
I'm excited to see her in future stuff.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool. Anyway, all right, guys, thank you for sticking to the end of the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down a movie or TV show you want us to do. We're going to try to get this video out by the 14th. If we're able to, good job, Will. If we're not able to, still good job, Will. You tried your hardest.
Thank you.
And comment down a movie or TV show you want us to do next. We may do it, or we might not do it. But we may do it.
Maybe.
But we might not do it.
Ooh.
Bye!
Bye.
Oh, sweet child of mine.